Archangels, ghosts, and Bigfoot, oh my. It's just another night for Supernatural Girls. Real stories, real answers to life's biggest supernatural mysteries. And now, for another exciting interview with paranormal experts from this world and others. Here's your host, paranormal researcher Patricia Baker, on the one, the only, Supernatural Girls.
Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of Supernatural Girls. I am your host, Patricia Baker. I'm here with Miss PK, all the way from Tucson. So, PK, I know your back is hurting. You're not going to be with us for the whole show. So why don't we just get started with the numbers so you can go on your way?
All right. It's very simple. It's a month of major changes, good to bad, bad to good. But it also has a luck factor with it as long as you follow through with what you need to do. It's going to make everybody a little hyper. Everything's going to be about speed, making a quick turnaround. But take a deep breath. Don't blow up like I have just of late today. It goes from good to bad. It's like being on a teeter-totter. You don't know which end you're going to ride until it blows up on you. But it's all about change. And like I said, the most important thing, it's a luck factor that goes with it. But do pay attention to your driving, because this is a time of speeding, doing things in a hurry. And we're going to hear about more accidents going on because of this very thing. And it isn't just that on the road. It's people, those that need a lobotomy, that are running around hurting other people simply because they can. So that's the best we've got for right now. Ride the wave with the changes and choose the best path for yourself.
Well, that sounds pretty easy to do. So I'm all set for that. And I remember you're saying that this month is going to be better than last. So good.
Because it has that luck factor that goes with it. And
Okay.
that's the best part about it. But don't let your nerves put you into a space that's going to be regretted later.
Yes, exactly. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that. I know you're going to take off in a few. So let me also mention, you and I were discussing this earlier. William Stick Evers, one of the very few astrologers that we trust completely.
Mhm.
He's brilliant. He hits it every time. And he has a fantastic write-up on his Facebook page. So please follow him on Facebook and on his website, williamstickevers.com. He has a whole readout on Saturn-Neptune world point alignment.
Right.
It's called The Great Integration. And he goes through step by step what we're going to be seeing, what is going to happen. There's no turning back now. So he talks about, in moments of planetary transition, old paradigms collapse as new systems emerge, not just technologically, but spiritually, philosophically, and ontologically. So we are now living through one of those moments. What I call the Great Integration is a convergence of developments that, taken together, signal nothing less than a civilizational metamorphosis. This isn't merely the fourth industrial revolution. It's the end of mechanistic materialism and the beginning of a consciousness-centric age. So please, if you want to, there's so much information on his Facebook page.
Right.
I highly recommend you go there, follow William. He also has groups where he goes through financial futures and things like that. Please listen to William. He's got it going on, and he has a lot of great information there for us. So tonight, I'm moving right on because we got a dear friend with us tonight who is one of our most favorite guests in the entire world. Wouldn't you say?
That he is.
And we're lucky enough that we were introduced to Ed years ago by your friend, George.
Yep.
And thank you, George, again for introducing us to Edd. So let me tell everybody a little bit about Edd. He is the research subject featured on the History Channel's Ancient Aliens in the episode titled The Alien Brain. He's also been extensively studied by the Rhine Institute, the University of Virginia, and the Monroe Institute. Now, since childhood, Edd possessed a unique sensitivity to and control over an energy field. For more than 30 years, scientists have examined his ability to activate the body's natural healing mechanisms. Edd's grandmother, a hands-on healer with roots in the Cherokee lineage of the Kituwah settlement, guided Edd in nurturing these gifts from early childhood. By the age of 3, he was already well acquainted with this energy field, thanks to her teachings. Despite accusations from the church and school of dabbling in the occult, which this isn't, and having an overly active imagination, Edd's grandmother instilled in him the belief that this energy stemmed from the Holy Spirit. Those who have experienced being pain-free within seconds in Edd's presence can attest to the authenticity of this power. Edd is featured in the new documentary on Gaia, which I was able to watch. It's fabulous. Also, take a look. It's called The Consciousness Connection, and you can find Edd at Edd Edwards, Edd with 2 Ds, edwards.com. Edd, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Well, I'm fine. I know you were just working on PK a little bit to give her some relief before she has to run away. So, anyways.
Really good there.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Thank you so much. You're such a sweetheart, and I'm so thrilled to see you. It's been so long.
Yeah, I kind of went under incognito a little bit more. Been on many TV shows. I can't even go nowhere, and people recognize me all over the place. You know, so I just kind of changed my looks here and there. I'm trying to convert back to alien.
Well, I think that's a great idea. I'm right with you there. So, anyways, but it's wonderful having you back. And
Sure.
there's been a lot of research conducted and actually completed since we last saw you, right?
Oh yeah.
So catch us up, if you would, on what they found about you. We're familiar with the photon bursts that you're able to do and maintain. And this is something that's very unusual because, as most of you know that have watched Edd on our show before, we all produce photons, but we're at the low end of the spectrum, whereas Edd is at the very high end of the spectrum, producing millions of photons. Edd, what would be the comparison? So say somebody like me, a little peon here, I would produce how many?
10 to 20 biophotons per half second.
And you're doing millions.
I was doing millions in the beginning, you know, like go boom, and then it ended up, then boom, you know, like that.
Yes.
And that kind of be, and that would kind of be the whole experiment and the whole run. But then after we did studies and I did a lot of hands-on healing stuff on people, I got where I could bring those levels down under about 100,000 or so, and then do long strings of pulses. And by doing that, I'm getting much better. I'm causing people's healing mechanisms to kick in and start doing what they were designed to do much better, much faster.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Those big old pulses, we couldn't see anything it was doing, other than it was just sparkling, you know.
Right. Well, yes, and in the video that I saw of the alien brain, also they did go over that, and they showed some photographs and videos of you, and your head was very much lit up, and your hands also, as you were producing these high-level photons. But again, with parapsychology, it's always been a problem to try to get things to be consistently repeated, but not with you. You're able to consistently repeat the results in all of these experiments, which makes you a real standout in all of this. And I think that's why one of the reasons they love to study you, because it's always there. It's never, it doesn't go away. It's always consistent, and they're able to learn a lot more about this that way.
See,
So
I'm doing the same thing to whoever I cause their healings to do, no matter what it is. I do the exact same thing. I'm not the healer. You are the healer. I'm just the connection to source, to God, Holy Spirit, whatever. I run this electricity through here, and when I bring that electricity into me in that lab, I sparkle for them. You know?
yeah. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
both of those videos that I saw, the Gaia one and also again the enhanced one with the ancient alien, the alien brain, uh, both incredible
Mhm.
things that you're able to do. And I've been watching your groups that you're offering, which are incredible, where you're actually teaching people not only how to do what you do, but you're also funneling the biophotons and the energy towards them. And as
Mhm.
they're doing this so they can have their own full-fledged experience, which is very exciting. So you're really passing this on to everybody who wants to learn how. Now, how do people get to do those workshops with you? Where
Well,
do they
we're setting up new workshops that's going to be probably dealt out through the Monroe Institute, and just kind of watch for that in the future. I'll be, depending on what the timing is on that, I'll be doing some more private stuff and on Zoom and all things like that. We're trying to get it a little bit more structured and all.
go? I think it's great. I mean, everything that you're offering, because you're teaching people how to do the same type of thing and pass the energy on to other people, and then how to heal themselves, which this is all about, because we've had a medical system for the longest time, which works against the body. What this does is it works with the body and the body's own healing system. And it's just diametrically opposed. And it's working incredibly well for people. I've seen on your website,
Mhm.
Laura's mother that had an experience of healing. I believe she had a heart issue. Was that it?
No, it's cancer.
Oh, it was cancer. Oh, God. Okay.
And I've got a bunch of people with cancer. Everybody with cancer have been working on their markers, and their blood marker numbers are dropping 30 points a month.
That's great. That is great. So, yeah, so that's phenomenal. And I know last we spoke, you were having tremendous success helping people with neuropathy.
Well, it's turned out to be everything across the board. Remember, I'm not the healer.
Right.
It's just that it seems to greatly affect neuropathy. It greatly
Mhm,
affects ALS. It greatly affects MS.
mhm.
It's affecting everybody with whatever's wrong with it, because all I'm doing is triggering their body's healing systems to kick in, start functioning the way they were designed to, and then running some extra electrical power to them so that they healing mechanisms have the power to do whatever needs to be done in them. I don't have to worry about what's wrong with anybody anymore. All I got to do is bring them into my presence or into my focus or conscious awareness, and lock in with this Holy Spirit energy or electric universe or whatever term you want to call it, and everybody in there goes to smiling.
That's great. Now, one of the things the researchers discovered about you is that you have different wavelengths operating all at the same time. So can
Hmm.
you talk to us about that? Explain what that is.
Well, down there at the Rhine Center, after I went in there and sparkled for many years, and they didn't tell me they had random number generators running in the other room when we'd run our things, and I was knocking them things all over the place whenever I was doing the biophoton research. And so they wanted to find out what my brain's doing. So they got me introduced to the neuroimaging lab at the University of Virginia, DOPS, Division of Perceptual Studies, under Dr. Ross Dunseith and Dr. Edward Kelly. And so they wired me up for the advanced EEG brain mapping study, and we did a pilot study from 2015 to 2017, where they determined that when I turn this energy on or call on the Holy Spirit or whatever you want to call it, when I activate it, my brain goes into all levels of consciousness simultaneously. And they've never seen that. They get different frequencies on different sides of my head. Like part of my brain's in alpha, another part's in delta, another's in beta, another's in theta, and the gamma is just going through the roof when I activate it.
And gamma is the one that they've studied a lot with monks.
Hmm.
So that's the one where people have learned, these monks have learned to meditate for days and weeks and months, and they're producing a lot of gamma. And you're doing that also.
In seconds, not months. I can
That's
turn that gamma up and just blast their sensors in a matter of a half second. And what they say they have people meditate for hours trying to do.
which is incredible. And when you do that with people, do people report back that it makes their all-around meditations easier, that they find it easier to reach those
Mhm.
states even when they're not with you, not in your presence?
Once I've lit them up, they're able to get into resonance with the universal energy a lot easier.
That is tremendous. So there's just so much to learn from what you're doing and experience. So again, you're talking about the Zoom rooms, and you also, don't you advertise those on your website?
I do on the website. We do just a little bit on Facebook and stuff and around. There's other opportunities of advertising coming up that I'm going to look into, but it's just pretty much word of mouth right now.
Okay. And again, your website is Edwards.com. So
Mhm.
people can go there. And you also have the videos up that people can watch.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of videos, the TV shows, and I've got another one coming out on Gaia.
Mhm.
Sid Goldberg filmed last fall with us on something called Divine Sciences
Oh,
on Gaia.
wonderful.
So I've got another show coming out there, and then the way he was talking, see, while I was sitting there interviewing them, they let me do a little live demonstration. I pulled the videographer and photographer and producer over off balance. They nearly fell into the set. Kind of got their attention big time.
Oh, I bet. That's great. Well, would you like to give us a demonstration tonight for the audience and how this
Sure,
goes
sure.
and how this works?
Okay. If we could get everybody to stand up for me. Now
Okay,
I need
everybody,
to
stand
stand
up
up.
there. I'm going to sit so I can watch what's going on, but everybody else stand up so you can feel what's going to happen next. It's going to be very incredible. I guarantee it.
All right. So really, I don't need video. It's just messes everything up. It distracts people. All right. So stand up there. Stand up and just pay attention to what you're feeling in your bodies. All right. So the energy's locking on right now. And you should start noticing a tingling sensation in your fingertips, possible toes. We get in our Zoom rooms, we get that going all through your whole bodies. All right, so now the unseen force should be starting to make itself known. Or y'all starting to wobble forwards and backwards any?
Yes, I am.
It should be just kind of moving you around a little. Okay, so now I'm going to push everybody backwards. Okay, I'm going to let off of that. I'm going to reverse the electrical polarity and pull forwards on you. All right, I'm going to let off of it. Now push back. All right, I'm going to let off, let center out. Now I'm going to pull sideways on you. And now, like I do in my shows, I like to start pulling on you, then I'll tell you which way. See if you're getting a little nudge to your right. So that should be pulling people kind of to the right. I'll let off of it. Now I'll pull back over to the left. All right, I'm going to let off of it. All right, everybody sit back down now. Okay.
Wow. Very different this time. Every time you come here, it gets stronger and stronger. When you pushed back and I went back, What I also noticed was I was apparently unconsciously carrying some tension in my neck and my shoulders, and everything just dropped
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah,
Which
that's
was
the idea. It relaxes the body.
Yeah, didn't have to think about anything. It just dropped. So this is just the beginning. I know you're giving people just a little taste of what happens.
Hmm.
I also know that you've had some experience with affecting weather. Anything recent?
Well, that's just getting ready to come up. I've started noticing I bought property in a remote area, West Virginia area, and I set me up a mini Starlink on it with cameras and solar panels because there's no power back out in there, and got it all hooked up. And now I can play with energy while I'm here in New York City area and watch them cameras and watch stuff happen out there at nighttime late and stuff.
Oh, what's happening?
Oh, and create dust devils. I'm getting lightning strikes to hit near where I want them to hit, and all kind of things. I can see a big, broad area, big, wide
That's
area.
fantastic. Good for you.
So I
You
just
know,
I've got markers up there, little beacon lights, and I got cameras aimed at them. And when I know there's a thunderstorm rolling near them, I'll just sit there and start focusing on them, and see if I can get a bolt of lightning to hit them, or I can film
wow.
it.
Well, we had a bolt of lightning hit a 50-foot tree here on the property the other day. And as I was saying to everybody, I don't know how anybody can survive a lightning strike after seeing what was left of that tree. But apparently people do survive. Now, have you been hit by lightning ever?
4 times.
4 times. Oh, my
One good time, and 3 just over the edge, in
whew.
the edge of it.
So what happened with the strongest bolt that you got?
I was trying to outrun a thunderhead to get across the lake in an aluminum John boat. And,
Uh-oh.
5 minutes by boat or an hour and 15 minutes by car to come around the lake where I had to go. And I was just nearly to the marina. And then next thing I know,
Oh, my
I
God.
don't really remember it. I have 2 different doctors that were on each side of the lake that knew me, saw it happen and stuff. They told me all about it. They said it looked like a purple ball around me in the boat there, about 12 foot in diameter.
So
Uh,
did the boat get hit, or did you physically
I
get hit?
guess everything did. I was hanging
Everything.
on to that boat motor, little 9 horsepower outboard. This little aluminum John boat.
So it probably got fried.
No,
Right. Oh
it
my
seemed
God.
to be all okay. I was fuzzy for 3 days and tingled like crazy.
I bet. Oh my
And
God.
then
You're so blessed. You're
that
lucky
was
to
back
be
in,
alive.
that was back in 19, I think 91 or 2, somewhere in there. I mean, I don't remember it. It messed up my memory from there for a while back there.
Yeah, I bet. But
Uh,
physically you were okay. You were just a little.
Physically, but I was just tingled like crazy. And then I started noticing that when people would be standing near me, I could create these magnetics in my mind, and the people standing near me would start swaying around or tingling or getting hot and stuff. And so I just started searching out people that were in pain and stuff like that, and found out that I could turn that energy on, and it was making their pain go away,
Incredible.
just like Grandma did, kind of way back yonder.
Yeah, your teacher, your mentor, which is
Hmm.
amazing. I mean, it's an incredible life you've had so far. I know it's just going to keep getting better and bigger, but your grandmother was instrumental in all of this. And you said she was part Cherokee or 100%?
Yeah, 30% Cherokee,
30%. Okay.
and
Yeah.
she cultivated it as a little kid. I grew up playing with it like crazy, but then I had some trauma when I was 14ish, and it really messed me up for a while. And I quit doing it for about 15, 20 years there until that bolt of lightning.
Wow. Well, so yeah, because it was a time in our culture when none of this was accepted.
Oh yeah,
None of it. And we still, for now, anyways, are seeing every once in a while somebody will get freaked out about it. It's a misunderstanding, is all it is, and they
hmm
need to know they have a misunderstanding. However, in today's culture, so much of this is readily accepted, and as I mentioned, with William Stickover's written piece, he talks a lot about that, about how our whole system is going to change and merge with a spiritual connection that for so long the traditional medical people have tried to keep out. So all of that's going to change, and it's thank God, really, because
Mhm.
it makes so much sense to work with the spirit, with the body, rather than against it, which is what a lot of our medical treatments do, unfortunately. Again, I have nothing bad to say about emergency treatment. I know that's great here in the United States for the most part. But when it comes to chronic illness, chronic pain, things like that, we're far behind.
Yeah,
So this
a
is
lot.
a much better way to approach it, and it really helps on so many levels. Now, when people get back to you, because I know they do, about their experience and they're not in pain anymore, do they also talk to you about other things, like after this experience with you, they're now having more vivid dreams, or
Yeah,
they
um, we did an interview with Dr. Anna Newsom from Yale University Psychiatrics,
Mhm.
and it's on my Facebook and on my YouTube site there. But something we've noticed from people coming for pain and this and that is the mental health benefits that are
Ah,
happening in everybody. A whole change of attitude in people. And
okay.
so that's where Dr. Anna's looking at it now as how we can help in the mental health field.
Well, Lord knows that we need a lot of help there, because I was just saying to somebody today, it seems like every other person. So 1 out of 2 people I meet have some type of a diagnosis, and
Hmm.
it's not a light diagnosis, it's a pretty severe one, so there's a lot going on. I just wanna reference a comment that we got from Daniel Twed. He said, "Ed, that standing experience was uncanny. I remain open to various possible explanations." Well, thank you, Daniel, for sharing that.
Well,
That
well, well, good. You're one that stuck around. A lot of
yes.
people just run like hell when they experience it. And then
Well,
I
they should
found,
go to this, not away from it, but go ahead.
yeah, and I found out one time I did it for a group of men down there, down south, and I had them wobbling all over the place. Then 2 of them yanked them little mini Bibles out of their pocket, and I knew it was time for me to get out of Dodge.
Oh gosh.
So,
Well, it's a lot, there's a lot for people to take in and understand about this. And any fear of this is, again, as I mentioned, it's a total misunderstanding. And,
hmm.
and they're missing out on being aligned with their true selves. And all of that is going to come more to an understanding for all of us and more to fruition in our own culture. It's about time. So you're at the forefront of all of this, which is very exciting. So
Hmm. Yeah, we're getting new labs, I mean, I got doctors bringing me patients now.
that's
You
great.
wouldn't believe I've got about 8 or 9 doctors now, and they're sending them to my Zoom rooms, and they're getting fantastic results. And
Well,
then we
that's
got a new testimonial came in yesterday. A lady's numbers drastically dropped from diabetes, meaning her pancreas was started producing again.
That's tremendous, because as you know, diabetes is a horrible, debilitating
Hmm.
disease with many, many tentacles to it. So, yeah, just getting that under control is a major, major step. So, yeah, I mean, this is a whole different approach, which is gentle, non-invasive, no side effects. So there's nothing bad about it. It's all in alignment. It really is.
Hmm.
So some of the interesting things that you do on the side, like your piece of property in West Virginia, and trying to do experiments and things like that with lightning there and other things. I'm sure you're seeing lots of orbs.
Hmm.
What about ships? What about our little alien friends? Are they showing up?
Well, I think I spotted something in one of my cameras last night. I'm working on the data right now. I'm trying to get it through my Photoshop to enhance it a little bit to see what's going on. But there was a lightning storm, 20 miles from there that was flashing, and I just happened to have my camera shining. I was just happened to be sitting here at my desk working on stuff, listening to the frogs. I'm
Oh,
up here in New York City, and my cameras are out there in West Virginia in the country, and I was listening to the tree frogs and the nature at
oh,
nighttime
oh, nice.
with a thunderstorm off in the side. And all of a sudden, it flashed, a lightning went off. It got kind of dark again, but I used starlight cameras, and so
Hmm.
I could see kind of everything. All of a sudden, way off over in the pasture, a big orb started flashing and flying around, circled a tree, and then went out flying around the pasture, and then went up the roadway, and then went up at a 45-degree angle up into the sky. And it was pulsating three pulses, and then it'd go a little ways, then three pulses, and go a little ways. And so my starlight cameras were picking up the pulses. I don't know if I'm still dissecting the video data right now. I'm trying to get it really clear and stuff, but there definitely was something out there.
So that's what it sounds like. There definitely was. I would be surprised if the extraterrestrials and the interdimensionals didn't visit you, because I'm sure that you are of great interest to them, because
Yeah.
you're somebody that's up here on the top level of being able to work with this energy and have it be a positive effect for so many.
Mhm.
So I would
I'll,
think you'd be interested in watching what you're up to.
that's right. If I get one of them fly over, I'll lock this energy on and pull them down here, and we'll have a nice little examine them time.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll light them up.
Oh God, that would be wonderful. Now, don't forget, you got to have your camera set up for that one here too.
Mm-hmm.
You got to see pictures. You know how people are, and I'm one of them. I love the photographs. So, but for now, I mean, what we're talking about is people are seeing lights in the sky. People are seeing ships.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more interested in seeing the ETs and the interdimensionals themselves.
Exactly. Yeah, I had that encounter when I was 6 years old. I want
Yes,
to see them
please
guys.
tell us again about that. I love this story. So tell us what happened.
Well, I was with mom and dad. I was already doing a little bit of the energy that grandma had cultivated in me. I was 6 years old, and we were out at this little country restaurant, and then there was an old car lot next door. It was all a bit just a family operation, and mom and dad knew the people that owned it good and went to school with them. So we'd go there after church on Wednesday night, and they'd go eat and stuff. And then when I was done eating, I always like to go out and play in the old cars, blow the Ooga horns and different things like that. And so one night when I was going over there, I was playing around with one car, so then I seen this orange pulsating glow in the back of the car lot, and I figured it was just a fire burning. But I worked my way through the cars and everything, and came out, and nope, it wasn't no fire, there wasn't no heat, but there was this huge propane gas tank looking thing that was pulsating orange colored lights out of it. It was just like the whole thing was just glowing orange and then pulsating. And at about the same time, out of the corner of my eye, I caught these four figures, four funny looking, I thought, kids over there on the side that looked, kind of, well, I was already exposed to what the inbred Appalachian people look like, because my dad knew where they was at on the mail route. My mom worked for the hospital, and we used to have to go out there and register them. So they looked really weird and funky. So when I seen these four looking guys there, I thought they were just more of them Appalachian inbred people. Or so I was real friendly with them. They was real friendly with me, but I went over to them, and kind of touched, a little hug like, and then they started playing with this energy like I play with. And then they taught me how to electrically change the polarity in my consciousness, control of the energy. And that's what's able to set me free with it, to setting up these electrical gravity waves that meant that I can mentally produce, where I mentally push people backwards or mentally pull them forwards. And then that process is what calls on the Holy Spirit, in a sense. I mean, just able to control the polarity and flip it back and forth like that a few times. It's just like I reach way out in the electric universe or deep space or wherever, another dimensions or whatever, lock on to that energy and then bring it in to me. And I'm one with it. And I just, whatever is aware of it or whatever I'm doing gets affected. So they taught me how to do all that and stuff. And then they put about 1 million or more pictures in my brain. And I'm still seeing them, like deja vu things flashing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I still have times here around here, and I go, dang, I had that dream of this place when I was a kid after that. And I'll be walking into all kinds of stuff, and I seem to know everything about it when I get there. And then now
Incredible.
my ESP, my technical remote viewing abilities are like crazy. I can just sense when even people are thinking about me. I hear their thoughts. I can go in their heads. I know what they're thinking. You know, if they're thinking like bad about me, or if they're up to no good, or something like that. I don't care where they're at on the planet. I know. You know,
You
it's
can
all
feel it.
connected. I can feel it. I know it, and I don't get around them.
Now, when they were teaching you how to work with this energy, this was all telepathic, right?
Every bit of it was telepathic. I could
Right.
hear them in my head, but they weren't moving. Then I realized they didn't look like they had mouths quite like we do.
Right. Yeah. So all through telepathy. And then what happened when how did this come to a conclusion? How did it come to an end
Well,
then?
I heard mom and dad holler over there, "Come on, let's go."
Mm-hmm.
And so I looked at them. We'd been there 15 minutes, yeehawing, I guess, playing with the energy. And so I just said bye to them, kind of way. They said bye to me. And, you know, in a sense, as we did, give me a hug. And then I left. And they got back in their orange propane tank looking thing. And I run over there and got in our old station wagon. And as we headed back toward town, all of a sudden we seen this flash of orange come up from way back behind us, and then it shot up in the sky and flew out across the sky up into the stars. And my dad said, "There goes a meteor." I was just waving bye to him,
Wow.
and
Quite an experience. And they were so nice to you and so friendly to
oh
you.
yeah, they were just friendly as they could be. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, I didn't realize that they could probably be not from here extraterrestrials till way on up in life. You know,
Yeah.
my whole
Yeah.
time was thinking they was just some kind of funny Appalachian inbred people, and then they had a flying car.
Right. Well, again, I don't know any other reference points you would have had back
Had
then.
none back then, because remember
Right.
the churches controlled every aspect of our life in those rural mountains there.
That's right.
If it wasn't happened in the Bible or whatever, it wasn't real. It wasn't so.
Or worse, it was something bad. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
it was the devil.
right. They had their way of labeling things.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I understand. But again, you're doing so much good for so many people and teaching them new skills to heal themselves and also to help other people heal themselves. So, it's really an exciting time. Now, you said
Hmm.
you'll be doing more with the Monroe Institute.
Yeah,
What will
we're talking about working on setting up Zoom, not in person, but through Zoom. Like we're doing this show here, but I'll be doing different classes and sessions with them.
hmm And for anybody who's interested in the Monroe Institute, it's down in Virginia in Faber, right? Faber, Faber, Virginia.
I
And
think I pop in there just once in a great blue moon.
yeah, and they have that copper room, right?
Yeah, I built that.
You built the copper room. Oh my goodness.
I built it, and Ross wired it, and then he studied me there. I was the main study. In fact, you'll see a publication from Monroe and about the studies he's done there, and I'm case number 3
Wow.
on the studies. And what we do is we take people that are sick or so and put them in the copper wall, and he has them all wired up. And he'll get the baseline on them, and you know most people run about 20 millivolts and all. And then he'll have me without the person in the chamber knowing that I'm in the room area, but he'll signal to me and have me start focusing on them. And within 5 minutes, I can bring their voltage up in their bodies up to about 2.84 to nearly 3 volts DC. And then when he tells me to stop, it kind of lingers. It comes back down to about a half a volt or a little bit more, and then hovers there for a while. And then whatever ailment or something is wrong with them seems to get affected by that. And you know, we do them as blind studies, so the people that's in the chamber don't even know I'm around or anything.
Now,
And
have the researchers found anybody else like you?
not at my level of electrical voltage.
hmm
This is very measurable, and like we're doing that demonstration to everybody a while ago in the video. If they'd had the instruments on in the lab, it would have knocked them berserk at the same time.
Wow. So
You
there's
know,
nobody else that can come to that level. I mean, like you say, we all produce some small amount of millivolts, but
well, yeah, but
nothing. like what
I
you
can
do.
go in that lab in the copper wall and then wire me up, and I can maintain it down there at about a half a volt as the baseline. And when they tell me to cut loose with it, I've taken it up over 300 volts DC within 5 minutes in there.
That's great. Jeez. Now, when I was watching the video of the alien brain, the two scientists that were talking, they didn't seem to know how you were able to do it. They could prove that you were doing it, and they were pointing to the graphs and showing how
Mm,
consistent you were and how high it was. But they really didn't have any explanation at that point about how you do what you do. Do they have any more understanding now?
yeah, they're going, well, that's with the new studies at UVA there. They're having them to understand what my brain's doing to be able to cause these effects. And so that's, where we're learning now.
Hmm.
Because I fire up every chamber in my head when I turn this energy on.
Do you feel your head tingling when you do that? Because I know you mentioned the tingling,
Yeah. I
arms,
mean,
legs.
it's like I walk around, I walk in plasma electricity all the time. It's
So
like
you're
I'm
feeling
aware
it.
of everything. Yeah.
Some people have mentioned right before they have a big Kundalini experience or samadhi or something like that, they experience this tingling.
Yeah.
So that's the voltage ramping up, most likely.
I'll do group things where I'll have 10 or 12 people laid out on mats, and I'll just kind of run around their feet there and send it through from my hands into their feet, and they'll come flopping up off them mats. Half of them will.
Really?
It's like a fish out of water on most of them.
Wow.
Yeah, I've had different people. I mean, when I have them like in those zero gravity chairs, I've had them flop clean out of that chair.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Well,
I
that
just
must be quite an adventure for them.
I mean, Dr. Levingood measured over 800,000 microamps of electricity when I would turn it on coming out of my hands. Yeah,
Gosh.
kind of like an electric eel.
Well, I don't know if you're familiar with this, the Synergy work, but that doctor, of course, his name escapes me at the moment. He's a fabulous doctor, and he healed himself with electricity.
Hmm.
And he now has the Synergy Institute, and he makes these devices that people can use to increase their electrical capacity. And he healed himself from a terrible brain infection that he got. He was an ophthalmologist and was doing surgery, and they didn't know at the time that a patient could pass this deadly bacteria on to the doctor during the surgery, and that's what happened to him. And nobody
Hmm.
could help him, so he started looking into electrical situations and created these devices and totally healed himself. So he's now helping other people. So there is a lot of data that he
Well,
has on
they're
all that.
trying to copy the human form there. Your body can do all that yourself. Your brain can make all that energy yourself.
Yes, but not when you're sick. When you're sick, it's a sign that that stuff isn't being produced, right?
Come, come to one of my Zooms, you'll get better fast.
That's right. I'm coming. I'm definitely
Hmm.
coming to one of your Zooms. I think it's something that
Yeah.
everybody should do. And I've done them in the past, and certainly we've had you on the show a number of times where you've done these demonstrations. But I'm a firm believer in all of this type of energetic healing, but especially yours. You have data backup with all of this. And again, that's why the researchers like you so much, because you give them the data. So it's just coming now to that understanding point. And you say UVA is now looking into that.
Well, they're also Dr. Anna Newsom, if she gets the funding and everything right, they're going to put in a new energy medicine lab in the mental health and spirituality department at Yale University. So
Oh,
right
that's
now
neat news. That's great.
she's
Yeah.
bringing me patients, privately that are open to this type of stuff, and she's had like cancer patients, tumor patients. Everyone I've applied the energy to, their cancer numbers are dropping like crazy.
Well, that's great. But you did also mention mental health issues. So let me ask you, because is she sending you some patients that you can work with that have these diagnoses?
They're in my Zoom room all the time.
They are. Okay, that's great, because I think that's one of the biggest challenges that we're facing in medicine today.
Hmm.
And if you can make a difference there, I'm sure that the doctor would be thrilled that these patients could have help and get to some balance within themselves.
Yeah, one of the doctors is a mental health person. They send people in there because of HIP. I don't know anything, and you
Right, they
know,
can't tell you their diagnoses.
yeah, exactly. I don't know anything. Don't even know they're there. It don't
Mhm.
matter to me as long as they're there and aware of me doing what I'm doing and locked in with me. And the number one thing is always be on time. You do not want to miss my locking in ceremony, the first 2 or 3 minutes of the show.
Right.
And 'cause once you're locked in, then you just lay down and receive.
How long do your Zoom rooms go for? Is this like an hour of time, a half an hour?
25, 30 minutes.
25, 30 minutes. So that's doable for most people. Most
Yeah.
people can find a
And
half an hour.
I keep them all under $20.
Very affordable.
Hmm. I mean, in fact, if you can't afford that, get in touch with me and I'll help you out.
That's very nice. Yeah. No, that is all great. So the mental health doctors, are they getting back to you about the changes they're seeing?
Yeah.
They do report to you.
Oh,
Okay, good.
yeah. Yeah, I can't go out in detail out here, but yes, they're getting very positive results in the people.
Mhm. That's
You know,
wonderful.
keep
That's wonderful.
coming.
Yeah. Well, again, people can still find your Zoom rooms even before you set them up at the Monroe Institute
Oh,
on
yeah, yeah.
your website, Edd
Mhm.
Edwards, Ed with two D's, Edwards.com, and you can sign up right there and go for it.
Well,
And
now I'm going to continue those there on my website. That's my energy healing rooms and all. The Zoom rooms there, and then the class type stuff I'll do with Monroe, the teaching.
I see. So you do the educational things there.
Hmm. Now I
That's
do some small stuff. I've got a video, kind of I call it restarting your brain generator, which is an exercise to get adults. It's not for children because children's generators are already still functioning. If I get to them in time, then they got a great success with it.
yeah, and I could use it for their whole lives.
Hmm.
But you mentioned something, if you don't want to talk about it, I understand, but you said something traumatic happened at 14 and you walked away from this for a while. What happened? Can you talk about that?
I had a teacher do some very bad things to me. I
Oh,
really
really?
didn't know, and then he found out I was being drugged and all kinds of stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you ever heard of the Foxfire books?
No, what's that?
It was called the Foxfire Organization. And that was that teacher there that started all that, that did the Appalachian books. So
And
it messed me up there a while.
what and why?
I'm not going to go into detail on it,
Okay,
but
you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. But they were doing things to you without your permission, and it caused you to just stop everything.
it caused me to black out about a lot of stuff.
Ugh, well, that's horrible.
No,
Yeah.
he took advantage of me there. He was a friend of
Oh,
my grandfather's. And my
oh,
parents went through a divorce. And I'll be your father. I'll still help you out. He started work. He started molesting my mind when I was 9 years old.
oh my God, how disgusting. That is awful. Well, I understand why you don't want to go back into that. But, I've heard stories about this where people were being subjected to all kinds of things against their will, and when they were young children.
Yeah,
So getting away from that, thank God you did, and you were able to survive it and then get back to what you were meant to do. But it is a bit terrifying how these people get onto these things, and they get so mixed up. They think they're doing something good when they're doing something horrible right out of a Nazi concentration camp.
yeah. Well, I understand. I didn't know it at the time, but I understand now that he got caught and spent a few years in prison.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. That's a good thing. I think it should have been more than a few years,
Or
though.
yeah, I don't know what it's this way. I don't didn't follow back into it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you thank God you got away from it. Again, by the grace of God, the Holy Spirit must have been with you,
Hmm.
getting you safe. Oh my God. Well, there is a lot of craziness going on in the world today, but it's nice to know that people can come to your Zoom rooms, have healing experiences for very, very minimal cost, And these go on, is it once a week that you do these, Ed, or once a month? What's your
Four,
time schedule?
4 times a week.
Okay.
Tuesday and Thursday. I'm doing one after this show tonight. Tuesday
Mhm.
and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, and Sunday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you go to my website at edwards.com and then click on the Zoom Healing Rooms link, it'll list everything that we do in there, and you can register there. And there's some little help videos that show you how if you have problems with it.
Now, there's no limit on the amount of classes you can take or Zoom rooms you can do.
No, I've got packages. If you want to go the unlimited, come to everything I do. I think we charge first time you do it's $99 for everything I do for a month.
Mhm.
And then after that, it's if you want to do the repeating automatic repeats, it's $119 and a month. And if you just want to do a month at a time here, and then a few months later, another month or so, we've got a package at $139. But otherwise, if it's just single sessions, $19 per session.
Well, that's very affordable. Again, it's an easy thing to do. Ed, I'm surprised that nobody's written a book about you yet. Do you have that in the works?
Me and AI was working on that, but I was getting ready to buy me a computer that I could have my own personal AI in here, and I should have bought it Saturday. I tried to get my money together.
Oh, no.
$6,500 for the computer I need from Dell Saturday, and the same computer I was going to try to buy it there yesterday and stuff. It went up to $10,200 because of the tariffs.
Ugh.
So that knocked me out of this extra stuff.
Yeah, for a little while. Hopefully
I'm not going to pay them taxes. I'm just refuse that. That's ridiculous.
Well, this way, you just wait it out. I don't think it'll be much longer before we'll see all of that resolved. And I hope you can get this AI
It'll be
computer.
6 months before the prices will come back down after it resolves.
Oh, well, let's hope that they don't get addicted to their increase in prices, and it should come back down. They should just give you one for free. That's what I think.
Yeah, I went down to get some other electronics there down at the Apple store. That was $900 last week, is $3,800 this week.
Oh, no, that's awful.
I mean, they put us out of the electronics. You can forget it for electronics now till this mess is over.
Oh, geez. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but it's going to be exciting when you get all of that going, because this is an amazing life history that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And
but it's scary. All our research departments have been laid off or fired. All those with the solar, where we did all our solar studies, all the data was getting off from the sun. Those whole departments have been shut down. They've been fired this last month.
Oh, no.
All the researchers, all the scientists have been fired because they think they're an ability. This is crazy what's going on now.
Well, we definitely need these things to come back online. We need the tariffs to get resolved, but certainly the research you have participated in.
Why do you take down cancer research?
Yeah, can't answer that question.
Why do you take down all these research departments? It'll take years to bring them back online.
Well, we need them back online. The ones that especially are looking into things like what you do. I think that's the most important thing.
Well,
is bringing
Harvard was looking at doing something. I was with doctors there, but now they're shut down. All that's been knocked out. You ain't going to find much research on what I do. Everything like I do is getting shut down.
Well, you know what? We need to put our consciousness together and change that reality, because we can do it, right? Set our minds
to vote differently.
Well, and we need to set our minds on having all of this come to fruition again, so that we can have an understanding of how you do what you do, because that's still a big mystery. And unfortunately, I've run out of time. Oh, but Ed, thank you so much for coming. It's so great to see you and speak with you again, all the exciting things you're interested in and doing with the research and without the research, just on your own. It's all great. So, thank you. Thank you so much. And I know we'll be having you back again. You keep us posted on everything. Okay.
Okay.
We'll be
back.
Computers. Yeah. Get that computer going. Okay. So we'll be back next week, everybody, with another great show. And until then, we will see you maybe in a Zoom room with Ed. And on the Blue Highway. Good night, everyone.